You see, even these 10 minutes of this chat, it's maybe positive now. I was down in the dumps before, and you lads are maybe positive, so thank you.
Yes, I'm getting there myself. The following podcast contains some strong language and some very average opinions.
Any references to actual people are wildly inaccurate. It's probably best if you don't listen at all. The Roaring Peacock Podcast.
Welcome back to the Roaring Peacock Catharticast match review. Crystal Palace 4, VAR 1, Leeds United 1. My name is Adonis. You know me as @TheAdelites on Twitter. Joining us today is Cookie.
Hello.
Fucking hell, this is going to be a somber cast if I'm the only one with any energy. At Right Badger Alex.
Hello.
And Barney Stuart. I can't remember what your is it at Barney Stuart _?
No, that's my old account.
Yeah, it depends which one it gets banned.
Yeah.
And you never even dare say mine, Donny. Mine's at Mickeldunians. Come on, it's classy.
Right, Mickeldunians. Yeah, sorry. So at Mickeldunians. Very sorry, Cookie. So yeah, go and follow Cookie as well.
Mate.
Right then, I thought that was my personal opinion. It was generally a good performance. I'm going to get pelters for that, but I think it was incredibly unlucky, and one of the worst decisions I've ever seen in my life. Probably the worst decision, and I did feel like turning it off when Bamford was given offside. Barney.
I thought I brought my laptop. I slammed my laptop shut when that happened.
If you're listening, Barney, you've got to check out the YouTube video because Barney's face at times is classic.
It kind of looks
All
like
right,
a
I'm
remake.
going bald. It's just going bald, that's all.
It looks like a remake of Talking Heads. Same as it ever was. Same as it ever was. Yeah. Need to get through a few
days go by.
And yes, you are going to get pelters for that, mate.
Yep, Cookie's angry, aren't you? You're angry, mate, aren't you?
Extremely, mate. Just think, don't get me wrong, I literally slammed my laptop shut in anger at VAR, and I think that was an absolutely bollocks decision, but I think you make a lot of your own luck, and I just think that we did what we did against Leicester. We gave the ball away a bit too much. Defensively just looked a bit all over the place, and I think in particular Cox's confidence appears to have just gone a little bit.
Yeah.
And for me, I know everyone's called him League One Liam Cooper, and I'm so happy that he's stepped up last season. I really am, because I love the lad. But I just think he's found his level, if I'm honest with you, and I think that we could do with Llorente back from injury. I don't think he's Prem level, if I'm honest. But who knows? He could prove me wrong, and I hope he does.
So you're calling him Championship Liam now?
That's the one, yeah. Championship Cooper.
I think for me, there was periods in the play that we were playing all right and we were getting some passes together. But like Cookie said, it was just the defence. It looked awful in patches. It looked like we were going to ship in a lot of goals again, like we were what ended up at Leicester as well. It was just in midfield as well. We're missing Phillips massively because we just don't have anyone in midfield that can just like get a hold of the ball and just dictate the play a little bit just to calm it down a bit. Everyone's like in midfield is going forward all the time. We just need someone in the midfield to sit there and just protect the defence a bit.
Yeah, I think we had a few passengers. I think Strauch, definitely, that's probably his worst game for Leeds. I think Harrison, that's probably his worst game for Leeds as well. Click was the only positive thing that we had in the first half, and then tailed off in the second because he was absolutely knackered from trying to create everything. Cooper and Koch, for some reason, when Koch plays with Cooper, he doesn't play as well. When Cooper's out, he seems to step up like a level and his confidence goes up. There are a few times when he went into headers in the first half where he just gave away foul after foul after foul, and they were playing for them all the time. Positives, there's not many. I mean, like Adonis says, I think overall, the scoreline flatters the performance.
Yeah, it does.
I don't think it was a 4-1 game. They probably deserve to edge it. But I think there's a terrible decision with VAR. I mean, Jesus Christ, Mike Dean. You can't be a celebrity ref while you're wearing your full kit at Stockley Park. And then I think Rafinha, I thought he was really good. I thought he was really positive. His vision's fucking immense. But yeah, just not at the races at all, really, as a team going forward.
Yeah, I had two positives. My two positives, and as you can probably tell from my tone, are not much. But I thought Bamford continuing his goal scoring. It looks like he's stepping up and being clinical at this level. Even after the last game, he's clearly put it behind him. He should have had 2 goals today. And the second goal, after being so disappointed after the first being ruled out incorrectly, I think credit to him. And then Rafinha, just honestly, second half. I know that he didn't have much to play with Palace putting all players behind ball once, and you can understand defending that lead, right?
Yeah.
But Rafinha's he looks class. He looks a cut above. Like everything he did oozed class. Some of the balls he played, he just looked superb for me, and I would be starting him. I think a lot of people on Twitter have said over Harrison because he played so badly today, but I think I would go Rafinha and Harrison and drop Costa at the moment for me.
Yeah. I think what we saw there was a lot of the time when that fluency, I've talked about it a few times, where fluency just seems to drop. Like every single 1-2, the second pass seemed to be behind the runner. And it just stopped us playing all the time. Tyler's terrible for that. He always plays the ball behind the runner. But he was a victim of it a couple of times in the second half. We just need to get that fluency back. Get Rodrigo back. Get Llorente back into the side to give some competition to that centre-back pairing. And I think you'll see an improvement. But we're just missing too many players.
Yeah, I mean, no one will change my mind on this. Tyler Roberts should not be anywhere near that first team squad. I would take Gellart over him any day of the week. Any day of the week. Shouldn't be anywhere near that team.
Okay, Sundays? Sundays.
Thursday nights? What about Thursday mornings?
What about cold Tuesday nights at Stoke?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
He should be on loan at Stoke.
Okay. Well, to be honest, I think it's very, very easy to paint a bleak picture, and I'm not just doing this because I'm a generally positive person. Like I am, but I don't think I'm just saying this as part of my nature. But I do think that we've played quite well today. We've had an improved performance on the performance against Leicester, which was one of the worst I've seen. Probably the worst I've seen under Bielsa. Apart from a 20-minute spell against Derby in the playoff semi-final, which I brought it up, but we're never going to talk about it again. And I think, Cock's a really weird one because for me, he's probably one of the outstanding players of the season, and also has cost us every time he's made a mistake, has cost us a goal, which is crazy. I thought Alioski as well, like he made a couple of errors today. Passing, not doing what Alex was saying, passing behind the man, not reading the pattern of play, not passing to the feet or ahead into the space. But in general, he brought a lot of energy. When we concede a goal, he's yelling at everybody like he is, and trying to make everything happen. He's running up and down the whole time. He's not losing any energy. He almost scored a goal. It's a brilliant save by Guaita, which I think is how you say it. But then...
I think that's a starter usually in an Italian restaurant.
Yeah, then what? You'd be saying guacamole, wouldn't you? If that was... Is that right?
It'd be a Spanish restaurant.
Well, yeah. He is Spanish, isn't he? Vicente. Anyway, I thought we played all right. I thought that was the most unluckiest first half I've ever seen. That fucking goal, that freakish Helder Costa deflection into the goal.
That's Mellier's fault, though. I mean, it's the ball is out on the left-hand side, and the ball comes in, and he's like this. Oh, London looks nice this time. Oh, fuck. He's just missed it entirely.
Yeah, the only defence I'll give him, right, is like, he's a young keeper who is learning his trade. He's new to Premier League. And if you look at his performances in some of the other games. He's been superb for a 21-year-old under a lot of pressure. I think he's 21, isn't he?
Yeah, 20, I think.
Yeah, under a lot of pressure. In a defence that, let's be honest, and this is the one excuse I'll give them, it hasn't had any consistency, has it, this year so far? They've had to mix things up so much. Cooper's been out, Llorente's obviously injured. We've had Struijk play at centre half and then move into defensive mid, and I think he's getting a lot of grief. But I think it's not his position at the end of the day. He's a centre half, so it's tough, isn't it? But yeah, I think there are some positives to take. I mean, my view is, I do not think, and I'm still not concerned about us getting relegated. I'm absolutely not. I think I said at the start of the season we would take some Tonkins. I think it was inevitable. And I think as Leeds fans, we get really attached to some players, and we're going to have to accept that some of these players will step up and some of them won't, and we'll need to move on if we want to be a top half Premier League team in the near future. And that just is what it is. I mean, Dallas, I love him, but he's not a left back, and you can't play him at left back forever. You can't do all this makeshift stuff all the time forever, is my concern.
Barney?
I think Cookie's said it all, really. I think there is positives, like Cookie said, Bamford. Yeah, he's scoring goals.
Right, guys. We don't need to continue this podcast. Cookie said it all. I'm gonna hop off the Zoom as well. We'll just leave Cookie to it. Sorry, Barney.
Well, I'm here for guys.
But I think it's highlighted that if it was in the Championship, we had a couple of players out, we could still step up. But it's a massive step up in the Premier League when you've got some of your key players out. It does show this time round.
Yeah, I think what's the difference though between Villa and Palace? Because obviously Villa we were out with a few players as well, but we still performed. The difference is Rodrigo.
Yeah, I think the other difference is teams properly out coming at us. We always said we struggle against those teams with the low block, don't we? And that's the two teams we've just faced and the two teams we've struggled most against. So I feel more confident going into Arsenal and Everton than I do Leicester and Palace, which should not be the case. Yeah, it's what it is.
Well, another difference was that Bamford didn't take his chances. I think there was a floated ball in. I think it was maybe from Click, and it ends up coming off Bamford's shoulder. I mean, he's got all the time in the world, because it's a floated ball in, to get into the right position and get it on his head. I've defended him. Remember last week, there was he had a header from about 3 yards out, and I said that's a difficult chance. The reason is because it's come at him so quickly. You can't move your position, so you've just got to generate everything from your standing position and get as much as you can on the ball. Obviously, he wasn't tall enough, so he couldn't arch his back. He's not like a fucking camel. No, not a camel.
Giraffe.
Yeah, a giraffe. Yeah. Sorry, he's not a fucking giraffe, so he couldn't arch his back. They arch his neck 1 meter towards his own goal, and in order to launch his head from the right angle to get the header into a position where Schmeichel couldn't get it. But this time, the floated cross, he had all the time in the world to get into the right position, and I don't know what happened. He went cross-eyed at the last second, and it comes off his shoulder. Fucking ridiculous. And Struijk had another one as well.
I'm defending him, Donny. Defending him.
It's as if they jumped too early or too late for the ball. So when they were coming down, that's when, like for Struijk, he jumped too early for the ball, so he didn't have the right direction for the ball. And then with Bamford, he was coming down, so that's why the ball hit him on the shoulder.
It's almost come off Struij's face, isn't it?
Yeah. He lost the flight of the ball, didn't he? Yeah. But I know what you're saying about Bamford, Donny, but I've got to say, mate, that like I've been one of Bamford's biggest critics over the years. I think that he's too inconsistent. It frustrates me. I don't know how you go from scoring a hat-trick to missing what he did last week. But for me, this week, I'm pretty happy with his bounce back, because the first finish is clinical and should be a goal. The second finish is superb. And honestly, I think we're 4-1 down when he misses that clear header. And I think his body language is clear that he just... It's almost like he was like, fucking who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the psychological difference that VAR makes when it's 1-1 or you're losing 2-0. So I mean, everybody can see that. Surely, I mean, it shouldn't have been stricken off. And Roy Hodgson, he's all about being an upstanding manager and being the best of British and being against VAR and against all these rules. He's all talk, because when we scored a goal that it was considered not correct, we gave Villa a goal, didn't we? Bielsa's going, give them the goal. And why didn't Roy Hodgson give us a goal? Because if he was not just all talk, he would have done that. And then he'd be picking up the fucking FIFA Fair Play Award of 2021. The cunt.
I think we're holding other managers, such as Roy Hodgson, to a higher standard than we should do. I think Bielsa's given us a bit of an insight into what a moral manager does. Roy Hodgson will never give anything like that, ever. He can talk all he wants. He's never going to do that.
Well, Bielsa doesn't just speak, does he? His actions behind what he stands for is very, very principled man, isn't he? And I think you can see that in everything that he does. That's what makes him so different to everyone else. So
yeah, but he's fucking shit. We need to get him out and get like Big Sam. Otherwise,
hashtag Bielsa out.
Yeah. Facebook.
I mean, mate, I think bring back Gary Monk.
Oh, fuck that. Well, he'll be free soon. He'll be without a job soon, hopefully.
Yeah.
Just going back to the VAR decision, just saw Bamford's interview, and he was interviewed, and he asked the ref about it, and the ref was like, I don't know. So if the ref doesn't even know himself, Christ's sake, what we've got no hope.
We all know the answer. Mike Dean.
Yeah.
The answer actually is David Ellery.
Because this is
he's the boss, isn't it?
I mean, yeah. September 1994 was my first taste of Ellery, and it hasn't gotten better with age, I can tell you.
Pardon? You've tasted him?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
That's how pungent his fucking shit decisions are. You can literally taste them.
September 94, so that is Leeds versus Manchester United 2-1 with Dean, Weatherall and Cantona.
Yeah, Cantona. But yeah, that's you got it right.
Look at me, I'm Stats Dalton. Look at that. Yeah. Give me your hat. LUFC stats, I know. I just remember Ellery. I just remember seeing his face when he gave that pen, and I hate the hatred that I had for that man as much as I hated Mark Hughes. So
there was an interesting tweet after the game. You guys follow all stats, aren't we?
No. Next question.
Okay, well, I'm a big fan of Josh. I like Josh Hobbs. I think he talks a lot of sense, and I talk to him quite a bit. And this is no diss to them, but whoever's owning that account tweeted after the game that Strike was, and I never know how to say his name, Strike, whatever, was that he was superb.
I think glorious was the term.
Glorious, that was it. Yeah, I don't know what they're watching. Like, a different game to me. I mean, I don't think he was dreadful, but it just doesn't impact the game. Phillips controls the game.
Yeah,
Strike's just sort of there.
I don't think he deserves like the avalanche of criticism that he's probably going to get. I think
he's a centre half.
We have to remember that. Yeah, well, he's a centre back. He's an under-23 centre back on a championship side. You know,
but I can't see anything. And maybe I am bare of little brain, as we've already discussed. But I don't see anything in that performance that warrants the superlative glorious.
No, but there's also nothing that deserves him being annihilated for a bad performance. But yeah, nothing glorious.
You've finished with small-facing people, and now you're small-braining yourself.
That's it.
I mean, one thing I saw on Twitter was a lot of people saying that we lack strength in depth, and that we should have signed more players. Now, I do believe we should have gone all out for Rodrigo de Paul. I think we can see that in the midfield that we could have done with someone like that. What do you guys think around that? A lot of people seem to want us to sign more players, but then we slate all these other teams for not bringing through youngsters. And I'm quite happy to see quite a lot of the youngsters on the bench getting that exposure for the future. It seems a lot of people would prefer us to have internationals on the bench. What's your view?
I'd rather have a youth prospect that's already trained and into Bielsa's way of playing rather than a newbie that isn't up to speed, bringing them on and they don't do what they're supposed to do. That's what I'd rather have. I'd like to see Gellert give a run out.
Yeah,
we'll see
me
how
too.
he does cope. All right, Sam.
So, Sam, what is your Twitter handle?
At Samward LUFC.
There we go. Okay. And so welcome to
Hello.
Sam. He's just come into the pod. And what do you think of the game, mate?
Well
What
done.
can we say?
Thanks very much for that, Sam.
Really,
And now.
Yeah. No, to be honest, I'm very disappointed with it. To be honest, I think that Palace are such a fucking fast team. How fast are they?
Yeah, on the break.
What
Massive.
on that counter? Wow. But yeah, I just think he would be genuinely missing Phillips and Koch. I think looks so nervous, so nervous on the ball. And where do you start? We're building up. I think Harrison didn't do that well. To be fair, I think on the left, I don't know. He wasn't providing much width, and the balls he was putting in, I don't know. I'm just a bit pissed off, to be honest.
Don't blame you, mate. I think one of the things that served us really well last season, and I talked about it on WhatsApp group during game, is that the diagonal balls, particularly from Ben White and from the keeper, distribution-wise from the back, set us up for so many attacks last season. And you saw today, even the commentator on the Astro Sport or whatever it was I was watching mentioned that Koch on numerous times could see the ball but refused to play it. Don't know whether that's confidence. And that Cooper tried to play that ball 3 or 4 times, and every single one of them was fucking awful. So
Bamford making those runs
all playing
for the full 90 minutes. You know, he was saying, look how much space there was, and the 2 times we played it, we scored. You know, So,
but that's what you got from Calvin and Ben White.
But the other thing you got from Ben White was a sense of calmness, and I think we've all said it that
that's it.
Koch at times feels like very tetchy, you know, not as tetchy as Kiko, obviously, but
no. Even the first game against Liverpool, as soon as he gave away that penalty, he was just shitting himself to do anything with the ball. He was just really nervous, and I miss Ben White just nipping in front of defenders and calmly passing the ball out. We really do miss that.
To be fair, he does do that. I think
Koch still has time to progress. I really do. I think
Koch does do that.
Yeah, he does, but...
I thought you were going to say Ben White does, but he's doing it for Brighton and they're ruining him.
No, I don't want to talk about those chip snatchers.
Chip snatchers, I like that one.
Oh, dear. Okay, so basically, this is what I thought. I think a lot of people are saying it was bad defense. There's two myths here. There's like, one, it was bad defensively, and the other myth, as far as I can see, is that we look open through the midfield. And to me, they're 2 myths because, one, I don't see how any of the goals that we conceded today was because we were lacking in the central area. And the other thing is that it was mostly just fucking bad luck. Like one set piece, one corner, one incredible free kick, and one deflected goal. And without those, you don't have that psychological impact that we were talking about earlier. Whereas with sort of thinking, well, the whole world's against us and VAR, so what's the fucking point?
Yeah, the psychology side of sport is massive, isn't it? Like, if we go, if we get that Bamford goal, we're back in it. I think we go 2-1 up eventually, and we might run away with the game. But it's in the Premier League with players of this quality, it's minor things, isn't it, that change a game. And I think what you have got to say is that, like you were saying about the pace, Zaha and Easy, he stepped up, and I knew he would. Yeah. They both looked really, really good. Really good.
Well, Eze had a lot of joy against us last season as well, didn't he, for QPR?
Yeah. I was at that game. It was disgusting.
That's another thing that the London curse strikes again. You think there's
fucking hell.
There's probably not anything scientific. So nothing scientific there. But
well, I hope not. There's a fuck ton of London teams in this league.
Yeah.
Oh,
so it better not be.
When was the last time we won in London? There you go. Here you go, Alex. You're the new fucking LUFC stats. Now you can tell us when the last time was.
Okay, so the last time we won in London was a fucking age ago.
It was 2017 QPR 3-1.
Yeah.
See, I said that without even moving my lips.
Was it?
It must have been like lag or something.
Does that come out a hat trick, that one?
I ain't
it
got a
was.
fucking clue. I just saw it before game.
It was, yeah. It was. I remember I went to the pavilion to watch that.
I went. That was my first ever away game, and I started drinking at 8:00 in the morning. And by the time, because everyone else was opening up, cracking a can open, I was like, "Oh, it's too early." And then I'll crack on. And then by 11:00, we got there. I couldn't even speak. I was a right mess.
Are you crying out for help, Barney? Is this a cry for help?
Oh, honestly. And then the actual away stand at QPR is shite. So the top tee, you can't see the goal. So I was trying to then look over, and being pissed, I nearly fell over as well. It was awful. Because the goal that we let in, it was Vival, wasn't it? And it went like he should have caught it something, and it just went over him, loops over him.
Yeah, I remember that. No, I can't drink and watch football. I've decided that now. Just cannot do it. The only time I've ever done it, I had 2 pints before I went and watched Leeds versus Villa back in the Monk era, and I couldn't follow the first half. I just couldn't do it. I was just like, oh, the pretty things on the pitch. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's nice. And then second half, like I sobered up, and the guy next to me didn't like me in the first half. The second half, he was hugging me when we scored. So there must be a difference.
Tell you what, mate, if we carry on with running results, if it goes on after international break, might turn me to drink. Might go opposite way.
That's the reason I do drink to watch football, is because we're absolute shit.
Yeah, how many alcoholics is Chelino responsible for?
Yeah.
I hate entering international break after a defeat like that. Just mulling over it for 2 weeks, but
it's not a bad thing for us though in terms of
we need it. We need it.
Phillips back, it's not.
Will Phillips be back?
I think so. They said up to 6 weeks, didn't they? And did you see that interview we did with that that older lady? What was she called?
Yeah,
Winnie. That's it. And he seemed to suggest that he ought to be back sooner rather than later. So
well, he's not going to go to Winnie like a fan that's been there for loads of years. Like, actually, Winnie, I'm out for the season. He's not going to do that, is he?
Crocked, love. I'm fucking crocked.
Asking Winnie, but I'm absolutely done for. They're just taking me to Dignitas next week.
There's only one Leeds squad player who needs to go to Dignitas.
I mean, Bielsa was surprised, wasn't he, when they brought it up? Somebody said, KP's going to be out for 6 weeks, and Bielsa was like, is he? No.
But that's because Steve knows Rob Price does miracles.
Yeah, Rob Price.
Still farming Forshaw's body parts to fix people, aren't they?
Yeah. Bit of J-Roy Grot in there, just for good measure.
God, you wouldn't want one leg of J-Roy Grot, would you, in your own other? Tumbling around the pitch like Nigel Worthington.
As long as it's the leg that crashed in that intercontinental ballistic missile in Myanmar. Fucking hell, what a goal that was.
Fucking hell, yeah, I forgot that.
Put that on a meme on Twitter and like it. The worst bit of commentary I've ever heard in my life. I was at work watching it. I shouldn't admit that, but I was watching it and I laughed out loud when he said that. A meme. Who pronounces it meme? It's meme.
A meme. You young children and your memes.
All you do is search memes all day. Do some work. Put that on a meme on Twitter and like it. Knobhead.
So how are we all feeling about the next 4? Tough games.
Arsenal, what is it? Arsenal, Everton, Chelsea,
West Ham.
I think we can get something at Arsenal. I really do.
Yeah,
I'm actually quite positive about that one.
I'll tell you what, look at this. I'm drinking nothing.
Drinking a label.
If you're listening to this, I've got a green bottle, and obviously my green screen is making me look like I'm not drinking anything at all.
See, that's how you get around your alcohol problem.
It's not there. Can't be drinking if it's not there.
The same logic that says that has kids and they cover their eyes and like, you can't see me.
That stroke in the first half.
Fucking hell, he was nowhere, was he?
No, he was glorious, mate. Absolutely
Glorious. Yeah, glorious. I do have another positive about today. Actually, I thought Click, nice to see Click back in position.
Yeah,
that was a lot better.
Through balls, he's creative and he does a good job in that space. The assist for Bamford, so it was nice to see him back in his actual position. I don't like seeing him at defensive midfield. It's a waste of him.
Some of those through balls from Pablo were fucking it. I mean, from Pablo, what the fuck am I talking about? From Rafinha, made me think about, reminded me of Pablo.
Yeah, well, I think that's the idea, isn't it? They want to convert him to a 10.
Yeah.
I think lost in names, went full Joe Biden.
Yeah. 4 more years of George, Rafinha.
You just need to get really close to one of us and sniff our hand.
I did want to be a bit Biden today and just say we need to have
a winner.
we need some patience, I think, because everybody's going to melt down, aren't they? Twitter's going to be a miserable fucking place. Facebook, even worse. So, yeah, I'd just say, just be patient. We've got a patchwork squad, under 23s and championship players mixing with new signings that have never played with each other. I think we've had a brilliant start so far. And, yeah, no problem.
Do we think we're Are we going to struggle against most teams that sit back and hit on the counter? Is that going to be for other teams?
What we struggled with last season, isn't it?
It was.
And
there
the season before. And the season before that.
Yeah.
And let's not talk about the seasons before those.
No.
No, we just struggled.
Yeah. It was nice to see Jack Jenkins on the bench today. For those who don't know about him, obviously I'm wanting to do youth pod, aren't we, Rob? And there's been a lot of talk about Jack. He looks like a like-for-like sort of similar player to Klitsch. So good to see him on bench even after doing 90 minutes, I think. He finished 90 minutes for under 23s yesterday. He looks a good player.
He looks brilliant.
Yeah, just shame his first name's not Leroy. That's an old meme. A meme, sorry. It's an old meme.
It's MMA, actually.
It's a meme.
I'll be honest, I was surprised not to see Gellert around the squad today, just because the reason I thought that Gellert wasn't was I thought if you played for under 23s yesterday, it meant that you're not in the first team bubble. And because of the COVID procedures, you're not allowed in first team squad, but clearly not the case with Jenkins there. Because I think it feels like Gellert is the one player under 23s and you watch it who just looks a complete class above everyone.
But do you remember when we thought that about Poveda as well? We thought Poveda were going to be, why aren't we playing him? And it's only come good this season. I mean, where was he today?
On the bench.
I just thought that.
Where was on the bench?
Yeah, but why didn't we see him come on the pitch? Because I think he gives us better attacking than Tyler Roberts does.
Catching up with his London brothers.
Yeah.
I think so too, yeah. He's quick, isn't he? He causes problems, he's tricky. He runs at players, but he's got the skill to go around them. I think just sometimes his end product is a bit...
Yeah, his end product is the only thing, isn't it? Skillful.
Nowhere near as good as Tyler Roberts. He's superb. And
Glorious, Tyler. I thought somebody who had trouble getting round people was Strauch. He nearly hit the referee twice. Tried to run through him like he wasn't there.
I was hoping he was going to fucking bundle him over. I was like, yes, go on, fucking nail the cunt, Strauch. Get into him.
I actually thought away from that the referee had a decent game. Thought he let it.
Yeah, he let a lot go. Yeah. He let a lot go.
Yeah. There was nothing. There was probably one or two fouls that I thought were a bit soft for Palace, but yeah, he let it flow, didn't he? He was all right.
Yeah. It's how aggressive we play, though, isn't it? That it's going to draw a lot of fouls from people that are, Premier League quality. They know how to draw them sort of fouls, don't they? But we are so aggressive. That's what I do love to say, how aggressive we are.
So do you think next game, hopefully Rodrigo back, Phillips back? Who's your changes? I think Rafinha in for Costa, Rodrigo in. Yeah.
Costa doesn't look arse sometimes to me. He runs around, but he doesn't look arse sometimes. Like when he's tracking back, I know he gave away that own goal, but sometimes when he's tracking back, it just doesn't seem as arse as someone like Rafinha would do, who would literally do anything to track back and get his man. Sometimes Costa, for me, I don't know, he's so good going forward, but tracking back, I think in a Bielsa team, we need someone a bit more defensive.
I don't think he's that good going forward. I think he's good. I do rate Costa, but I think that... So again, it depends on, as a Leeds fan, do you want us to be a team in the bottom half or do you want us to be a team in the top half? Yeah. And there's a reason Wolves let him go. They're not idiots. They needed to upgrade, and that's why they finished 7th twice in a row. Costa wasn't good enough for a top 8 team. in reality. And I think Costa helps us stave off relegation without much issue, but I don't think he's going to be there getting 10 assists a season,
I think it's
Costa
a little
needs
bit...
a game where there's a lot of space. That's what he needs.
Yeah.
Games like today, he don't
Exactly. I think it's a little bit harsh to judge our wingers on a game like today where they have a low block,
That's what I'm saying. I still rate him. I definitely rate Costa. I don't know whether, again, he's one of those, isn't he, where there's a number of people in this squad who we're going to find out over it. I think once we get past Christmas, you'll know the people who really have been able to step up and don't have an issue with the Premier League, and the ones who maybe just aren't quite up to the pace of it. And there'll be questions around him, but I think hopefully he'll prove us wrong. I hope Liam Cooper proves me wrong.
We struggled today because we didn't have a 10. We didn't have Rodrigo. We didn't have Pablo. We didn't have somebody in that pocket to do that.
Or even Shackleton.
Yeah, to do that little bit of magic. Somebody who looks up, has got the vision, and passes it. And that was the big difference when Rafinha came on, because all of a sudden you had a couple of balls into Dallas, which were very Pablo-esque, and that drilled along the grass cutters and drilled past 2, 3, or 4 players, and they're so tricky, those angles. And that's all we needed. We needed somebody like that in the first half, because Bamford's just constantly making those runs in behind against 2 very slow and not great looking centre backs for Palace. And even that being said, even us missing a number 10, if we'd have had any kind of luck in this game, we would have got something out of it.
Yeah. Well, I think Rafinha's played himself into the team now, and I think he's definitely going to be trained up as our next number 10.
Yeah. Barney,
he's got magic at his feet, hasn't
he? You got anything to say?
Yeah.
You haven't spoken in a while.
Cookie said it all.
Cookie said it.
Yeah, I agree with Cookie. There you go.
Cookie said it all. Okay, thank you, Barney.
No, I think for me, we weren't quick enough with the passes, and it was all a little bit too slow at the back for me to get the ball forward. And it got to a point where we just got a little. It was certain games we had last season where it just got a bit predictable, just pinging it back to forth on the wings and trying to hit that first man with a cross. It just got a little bit too predictable. And like you said, we just need that someone in the middle of the park just to spread it out a little bit and just find those little passes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Barney said it all. Barney said it all. We're done.
Can we get Bielsa on the line? I think more than a few people should hear this.
Bielsa comes and goes, Michael Dunions, bueno.
Bueno.
Who is this Badger?
Badger?
Oh, God. I don't want to look at my timeline. Jeez.
It's which? That's my favourite thing Bielsa ever said.
Absolutely.
Which?
It's which? Okay, I give up.
Yeah, so did we about 50 minutes in. If we're going to go with this, right, so I think this is a positive, and it's from Oddie from the Square Ball. He's tweeted, if we're going to get fucked over by officials in London, I'd much rather it be in the Premier League against Palace than in the Championship against Millwall. Spot on.
Well, I'd rather it be in a game of football than in the fucking Houses of Parliament.
Was that where we played this game today?
They play too many games in there. That's the point.
Yeah. It's a bit heavy on the right wing, though, isn't it? So.
Overload.
Yeah, and that's the thing at the moment. We don't have any centre ground either, do we?
No, you can't be a centrist.
Okay, this turn into fucking politics.
Yeah. So
I will always swing it.
Let's do some fucking final thoughts so we can all go home. But I hope that was cathartic for you guys as well. So I want to start off with Sam. Final thoughts?
Disappointing as it is, like we've discussed, I think we've got 2 weeks now. Injuries coming back. I think we have to be positive. Let's not lose our shit. We can carry on after these 2 weeks. And I think we can do Arsenal. Who have we got next?
Arsenal.
Yeah. I think we can do Arsenal next. I think we can actually turn a performance there. I think these 2 weeks are well needed, and I think, I think we'll be all right. Wants to get Rodrigo back, Phillips back. You see, even this 10 minutes of this chat, it's maybe positive now. I was down in the dumps before, and you lads are maybe positive, so thank you.
Yes, Sam, get in there, man.
The fuck did we do that?
Let's bottle it. The first 20 minutes, Alex.
I think final thoughts. Who's next?
Barney?
I'm not pissed off about the result. It was some odd goals that we let in. I think the international break's come at the right time. It's just a shame that some of those players are going to go on international duty, and when they come back, they've only got 3 days before the next game starts again. But it's nothing to lose our heads over. Get those mistakes out of the way early on in the season, then we'll be all right.
Who do we potentially lose to internationals? So Coops, I don't think Rodrigo will travel, will he? If he's got the COVID, he's got the Rona. Llorente won't travel because he's injured. Calvin's out.
Paul got a game. Click.
It's clicking it really.
Yeah, Click.
Dallas.
Click never is injured, though, is he? He's never ever going to be injured.
You touch some fucking wood right now, Sam. We do not say things like that.
I thought you were going to put your hand down your pants for a second.
I thought he was injured before.
Oh, fucking hell. It's not that good.
Afterwards.
We've really cheered him up.
Proper G'd up.
I think one of the positives we're going to see at the next game, though, we're not going to see Cooper starting because he's going to be injured for 2 weeks after international duty.
Yeah, standard.
Big strike in there.
Yeah.
Okay, and Cookie, final thoughts?
I think fairly simple for me. Defence needs sorting out. I think they will sort it out. I think the international breaks come at the perfect time. I think Rodrigo back in will make 100% difference in terms of the class we have going forwards. And I feel far more confident playing teams who will come at us in Arsenal and Everton than I have the last 2 games. So I'm confident we can get back on track. I'd take 6 points from next 12. So I'm feeling better than I did when we started this, and I wanted to shout at the rooftops that Cooper needs to get it fucking bin and Roberts don't deserve to be in this team. But much better now.
Fantastic. That's what we're here for. And Badger?
Okay,
final thoughts?
I'll stay level-headed and, Bielsa out, get Mick McCarthy in. What everybody else has said, I think I'm in broad agreement with all of you. So take care of yourselves and each other.
Fantastic. And what was it? Mickeldunians, at Barney Stuart version 22.3.
It's at Barney ___21.
Rolls off the tongue, that, doesn't it?
It does, doesn't it?
Oh, no, it's three underscores, not 4. No, 3. 3 underscores, that's the right amount. Or is it?
I'm dyslexic, so I don't know.
At Sam Ward LUFC, is that right?
That's the one, mate.
That one
works. Not even worth a follow.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
That's what I say every week.
I wouldn't bother following me or Riot Badger either. Okay.
Wait till Barney gets banned again. Imagine how many.
It's
underscore.
If I don't normally promote following me, but if you want some nightmare fuel of off-brand 90s Mr. Blobby costumes, have a look at that thread. It still makes me laugh, even though it's my thread.
That is brilliant. I read that this morning.
Coming up with that.
And you're mates with Click now, aren't you?
Apparently so, yeah. Well, me and Clicky, just like that. Well, I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to organise that. But we'll get them canvases signed. We'll get them raffled off. So
he walks his dog outside my work.
All right, I'll give you canvases.
You're behind the hedge with the binoculars, Barney.
Robbie's dog. Got these.
So we've got an alcoholic stalker. Welcome.
You make it out like it's bad.
Just jealous.
He goes in and reports it to Club Liaison. Man, there's this guy who's following me. Looks like he's got loads of underscores in his Twitter at. So
dodgy amount of underscores.
BBC News. What's he done? Kamala Harris makes history as the first woman and the first black woman to become US Vice President. Get in. But they're going to have to drag him kicking and screaming. I'd love to be there for that.
I hope they fucking Bin Laden in me.
As soon as he steps out.
Just shoot him in the Oval Office and put him in C.
No funeral for you big orange orangutan cunt.
I definitely float that guy. Definitely float.
And right, well, that's been fun.
And as he's in the ocean, he's just in a cloud of orange as all of his fucking fake tan comes off.
And all of Sea Life dies and David Attenborough just rolls the credits crying.
There's a fish comes along and and then it just floats to the surface.
Nemo, no!
Yeah, but if you saw his hair flowing, it looked like a jellyfish, wouldn't it?
Candy floss just disintegrate.
Cthulhu comes up and goes, oh no.
Okay, that was your Crystal Palace Leeds United match review. I hope it has brought some hope and catharsism and joy to you, dear listener, wherever you are. And we'll see you tomorrow, that's Sunday, for the AC Milan live stream from 20 years ago. Thank you and goodbye.
Goodbye.
Most of our stats come from LUFC Stats or LUFC Data on Twitter. You should probably give them a follow as they're more interesting than us. A very special thanks to Adam Elliot, Adam Warner, Barney, Stuart, Cookie, Ewan and Howard, Metcalf, Josh Pearson, Laura, Leon and Rob, The Light Show, and all our family and friends.